Nobody will get lost in the cave now. Tuesday came, and the lost children had not been found. And suddenly, in the middle of the night, the village bells rang out and shouts were heard in the streets. "They are found!" All the villagers moved towards the river, and there they met the children. The village was illuminated. Nobody went to bed again. During the first half hour, the villagers went to the house of Judge Thatcher, kissed the children, and cried with joy. Aunt Polly's happiness was complete, and Mrs. Thatcher's too. Tom lay on the sofa, and people sat round him and listened. He told the history of the wonderful adventure, putting in many striking additions to adorn it with, and finished with a description of how he left Becky and went on an exploring expedition, how he was about to turn back when he saw a distant light which looked like daylight. It was a hole. He pushed his head and shoulders through it and saw the broad Mississippi. He explained how he went back for Becky and told her the good news, and she told him not to speak about such nonsense, for she was tired and knew she was going to die and wanted to. He described how he persuaded her and how at last she went with him and nearly died of joy when she saw the daylight, how he pushed his way out of the hole and then helped her out, how some men came along in a boat and he called them. They did not believe the children at first, because, said they, "you are 5 miles down the river from the place where the mouth of the cave is." Then they took them to a house and gave them supper, made them rest for 2 or 3 hours, and then brought them home. Tom was ill for some days, but on Saturday he felt quite well. He learned of Huck's illness and went to him, but could not be admitted to his bedroom. 2 days later he was allowed to see him, but was warned to keep still about his adventure and introduce no exciting subject. In a fortnight, Tom went to visit Huck for the second time. On his way he stopped to see Becky. The judge and some of his friends began to talk with Tom, and someone asked him ironically if he wouldn't like to go to the cave again. "Yes, sir," answered Tom. "Well, I'm sure there are other children like you, Tom, but nobody will get lost in the cave now." "Why?" "Because the door was locked 2 weeks ago and I've got the keys." Tom turned as white as a sheet. "What is the matter with you, boy? Here, somebody, fetch a glass of water." "Well, what is it, Tom?" "Oh, Judge, Injun Joe is in the cave."